The calendar might be changing, but Beijing's tactics will not. India hit out at China for giving invented names to several places in Arunachal Pradesh, an Indian state. India's reaction came in response to Beijing announcing Chinese names for 15 more places in Arunachal Pradesh, which China claims as South Tibet. It identifies the region as Zangnan, and among the places named, 8 are residential areas, 4 are mountains, 2 are rivers, and 1 is a mountain pass. This is the second such batch of names given to places in Arunachal Pradesh. This was previously done in 2017. India reacted by referring to the past instance, saying that it is not the first time China has attempted to rename places and asserting that Arunachal Pradesh has always been and always will be an integral part of India. This is just one case. Along with territorial boundaries, China is crossing diplomatic boundaries as well. Let's tell you how. The Chinese embassy in India has sent out an angry letter to Indian lawmakers for attending a meeting organized by the Tibetan government in exile. The letter by political counselor of the Chinese embassy, Zhu Yongsheng, called on the Indian leaders to not engage with out-and-out separatist political group and an illegal organization. It further points that the Indian government has recognized that the Tibet Autonomous Region is part of the territory of the People's Republic of China. And in one letter, it clearly said, I'm quoting here, "You are a senior politician who knows the China-India relations well. It is hoped that you could understand the sensitivity of the issue and refrain from providing support to the Tibetan independence forces." As you just heard, Beijing's tone is far from diplomacy. It is one of arrogance and derogation. One of the MPs, Sujit Kumar, who got the Chinese letter, reacted to our correspondent Siddhant Sibbal's tweet where he said, "These letters should be treated with the contempt that they deserve." Meanwhile, the Tibetan government in exile has reacted strongly to the development. In a series of tweet statements, Tenzin Lekshe, the spokesperson of the Central Tibetan Administration, said, "The Tibet issue is certainly not an internal issue of China. Whatever happens in Tibet is a serious matter of concern for all the people around the world." On that note, let's get in our correspondent, Siddhant Sibbal, who has been tracking those developments for more on that. Siddhant, coming to you first about these names, these invented names given out by China. And this is happening not for the first time.
Well, yes, Molly, we have seen provocative action by China, not just by renaming places in Indian state of Arunachal Pradesh, but in the past as well. It has been almost 2 years since China continued its actions, a line of actual control. The build-up earlier this year, we saw little disengagement at areas like Pangong Lake and Gogra, but it looks like the Chinese regime, the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, has will and has continued its policy of not only creating problem with India but other of its neighbors. In fact, just a short while ago, the Chinese President Xi Jinping addressed on New Year's Day, and of course he mentioned about Taiwan, Hong Kong and areas, of course, which can be hotspots in terms of any kind of major tensions next year. But largely when it comes to changing the names, India has hit out as India has done in the past. In fact, in the past we have seen whenever there is a high-level visit from Delhi by a cabinet minister or by the vice president. That was the last case. We have seen China commenting on that, but of course New Delhi reacting and reminding Beijing that Arunachal Pradesh is an integral part of India.
Right. Siddhant, also tell us more about the reactions that have been trickling in to that letter that's been sent by the Chinese embassy to the Indian lawmakers.
Well, this is part of a global campaign we have seen by Chinese diplomats. They have been aggressive in their nature in terms of dealing with the society, not just here in India, in other countries as well. In India, this is not the first case that letters have been written to MPs. In the past as well, letters have been written when MPs have participated in events organized by the Taiwan government. In fact, the Chinese embassy has written letters to various media organizations as well, including WION, whenever we have talked about Taiwan or Tibet. So it is part of a global policy by Chinese diplomats to be aggressive in their natures and, of course, do not respect the rule of the law of that particular country. But, of course, we have seen reactions coming in. In fact, not just the Tibetan government in exile have strongly reacted, reminding the Chinese embassy that Tibet is not integral part of China, but also various MPs, the MPs who have got the letters saying that there should be a strong condemnation and, of course, a strong reaction by the society and by the government when it comes to such dealing by the Chinese embassy.
Siddhant Sibal getting us those inputs. We're leaving it there for the moment. Thanks very much. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.